Hey everybody, Derek Christensen here. I'm the owner of Legion Law, a premier estate planning and probate law firm in Dallas, Texas. Today I wanted to talk about whether or not you yourself can create your own will or even fill in the blanks to make sure that your wishes happen after you pass away. But before I dive into that, I wanted to let you know how to reach out to me. You can email me directly, Derek, D-E-R-E-K, at legionlawpllc.com, or you can go to my website, www.legionlawpllc.com. So with that, let's dive right in. So there are two types of wills that I'm referring to. There's the holographic will, is what it's called, and then there's the fill-in-the-blank will. Now, the holographic will is really just a will that is handwritten. And there's actually an interesting case. I don't know if it's a federal case or if it's a Texas case, but there was somebody who was on a tractor, and they got off the tractor, but then the tractor kept moving, and it actually pinned their legs down, and it crushed them. And they were bleeding out. They're about to pass away, quite literally. So they hand wrote, I think they took out a pocket knife or something, and they hand wrote their will on the side of a tractor. And so they actually took the piece of the tractor with the will on it into court and said, see, like, look at this thing. So it's a very fascinating topic. Obviously, you're not going to be in those dire of circumstances, but you can, yes, is the answer to the question I have not answered yet. Yes, you can handwrite a will in Texas. Is not recommended, but you can. And what you have to do is you have to write everything, and you have to make sure you state what you are trying to accomplish, who do you want to be in charge of splitting everything up, that you understand what you're doing, that you have testamentary capacity is what's called. You don't have to do those things, but this is what normal wills always say, and so you want to make sure you very specifically include those things, because if you forget something, then you're leaving it wide open for the judge to figure out, for the default laws of Texas to figure out, for lawsuits to figure out, and it's just not good. So, but in order to know those things, you kind of have to be an attorney. So I don't know. It's not recommended, like I said, but it certainly is possible if you handwrite the entire thing. Do not print it at all. Do not type out a part and then handwrite a part. Only the handwritten parts are taken into consideration when it comes to a handwritten will. So you'll want to sign it. If you're getting even better at it, you want to get witnesses, you'll want to notarize it. I don't think you have to notarize it. I don't think you have to have witnesses. But if you don't, there's a very strong chance that a probate court is either not going to listen to it, or they're going to have somebody come in and testify to the handwriting. So they can say, yes, I know their handwriting, and that is their handwriting. So again, playing with fire, but it is possible. And again, if you forget anything and if you miss a part, that's very important, like indicating if somebody's an independent versus a dependent executor, who is the executor, what happens if they don't serve, what happens if your child passes away before you, all these different factors that you have to figure out with an attorney. If you forget any of them, that can lead to very big mistakes later on, or problems later on. The second type of will I mentioned, so there's the holographic will is the first one. We just talked about that. But the second one is the fill-in-the-blank will. These ones are interesting because sometimes people think they can save money and they'll go on the internet, they'll pay $100, they'll get a download off the internet will, and it's fill in the blanks. My name is Derek. My executor is going to be Joe Schmo, whatever. And at the end of the day, they don't realize that in Texas, fill-in-the-blank wills are not allowed. You cannot use them. Well, you can use them, but as I mentioned earlier, only the handwritten parts are going to be the will. So you have to ignore all the print, and you have to take only the handwritten parts. So if I did that, it would say literally like Derek Christensen, Joe Schmo, January 1st, like it wouldn't make any sense. So if it did make sense and this fill in the blank, that's a different story, but most of the times it's saying, put your name here, put your executor here, put your beneficiary there. And again, it's just going to be a long list of names and numbers that don't matter, and it's going to be confusing. So nobody's going to understand what you're trying to say, even though the printed part of the fill in the blank wills technically give you the rest of the context. So that's bad. In other words, never, ever, ever fill in the blank will in Texas. Print it. I'll just be honest. Don't handwrite. It is very dangerous. What if you can't read your handwriting? What if you forget stuff? All sorts of things can pop up. it's rife for people to sue and say, yeah, that's not them. You're just faking it. It's a nightmare and a half, especially if you don't get it witnessed and especially if you don't get it notarized. The whole point of the witnesses and the notary is to say, yes, we guarantee the person who's signing this document who says they're doing this will is the person they say they are. So anyways, strongly don't recommend it. Just pay the couple $100 extra. And trust me, if you do that, you will save thousands in probate. If you have to go through the worst form of probate, it'll cost $7,000, for example. If you get a will and it's done correctly, it'll save you, or you'll be like at $4,000. So you'll save $3,000 if you just pay a couple $100 and you get a will done. That's it. So that's my recommendation. Don't do it, but if you do it, this is how you do it. If you have any questions on that, feel free to email me directly, Derek, D-E-R-E-K, at legionlawpllc.com. Or you can go to my website where you can go to our Contact Us page and schedule a free consultation over the phone directly onto my calendar at www.legionlawpllc.com. So with that, thanks so much for watching and have a great day.